All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. I'm Christian Saab. Welcome to We Rise, our first one-on-one interview. I have my good friend here, Jason. Jason, go ahead and introduce yourself.
How you doing, everybody? I'm Jason Carruthers. I'm the founder and owner of Zipp, Lash in Windsor. We've expanded to London, Hamilton, and Kitchener. I'm also the founder of Mad Wax in Windsor, Wax Bar.
Love it. You've done a really good job in this city, and you're growing significantly. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your story, how you got into it? Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, I'll tell you how I got into Zipp Lash, first of all. As an optician, I worked around the human eye quite a bit, and I was a contact lens practitioner. For many years, I worked in a laser clinic with surgeons, and I filled eyeglass prescriptions for many years as a licensed Ontario optician. And so I think that's what led into my interest in eyelashes first.
This was in Windsor?
Yep, this is in Windsor.
Okay,
yep.
So you've always been in Windsor. You're
pretty much.
Born and raised?
Windsor, born and raised.
Beautiful.
Went to school in Barrie.
Beautiful.
At Georgian College for opticianry there. So,
so
as an optician, which is kind of it's a healthcare trade, if you will.
Yeah.
Maybe a little similar to a pharmacist in the sense that the doctor prescribes the eye care, the glasses and contacts, and the optician fills that prescription. So it's technical, it's healthcare, that sort of thing. Yeah. So one day, one of the staff I was working with came to me and said, I've got a problem with my eyelash. It's an infection, I think. Can you take a look at it? Maybe, search a few things for me to see what it could be. So I sat down and I started to search eyelash infections and different causes.
Like the eyelash, like the hair itself?
Yeah, she was telling me that one of my eyelashes is infected.
Whoa, interesting.
I
didn't even know that could happen.
Yeah, it happens here and there.
Really?
You get styes and meibomian gland problems and redness and things like that. So it's just a general thing I was looking up, eyelash infection. And so in the results, I saw one that said eyelash extension.
Okay.
So I was like, the heck is that? That doesn't fit into my vocabulary, So clicked on it, and it described this process whereby you lay the client down. It's a cosmetic procedure. You glue these lashes on, and it makes them look beautiful. And it's better than mascara, that sort of thing.
Really?
Until that moment, I had never even considered cosmetics, really, in any serious way. And I had no interest in makeup or anything like that or beauty. So I just, something I knew I could do it and take my clinical background and apply it to lashes and do it well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me exactly a little bit more about your business and what you offer for, in terms of services for the women and men coming in as well, I assume? Mostly women?
Not too much men. It's pretty much
what do you guys do? Tell me a little bit about it.
Right. So, if you've never heard of it, and a lot of people haven't, so basically, as I say, it's pretty much a very streamlined service. There's only really the one thing we do, and that is eyelash extension.
Really?
What that means,
when you literally put in eyelashes.
Yeah. One by one.
Smokes. Wow.
It doesn't touch the skin, so it takes a lot of control and hand coordination and precision.
That's awesome.
And so, it's a very simple thing, but again, it's got to be done just right.
Yeah. You know what? I'll tell you something. Growing up as a kid, I always had girls saying they're jealous of my eyelashes. They're always so long.
Yeah.
I just a lot of that's so funny. Even till now, women always notice my eyelashes. It's so funny.
A lot of women bring their kids in. They say, "Look at my boy's eyelashes."
A lot of guys, even some of the guy friends, have long eyelashes, and it's like the girls know that's funny. So the demand is there. I've heard it all my whole life. My whole life I've heard it. Oh my God, I wish I had your eyelashes. I wish I knew you my whole life. I'd say, hey, listen, go over to my buddy.
You could have been handing out my cards all the time.
Absolutely. Now I know exactly what I got to do. So tell me a little bit. I know starting a business, you've grown so much. There must have been some obstacle along the way. Give me your toughest one. What was something that you had to really go through?
The toughest obstacle? I would say the toughest obstacle that I had to overcome was building a business that didn't rely just on me. That was the hardest part.
Absolutely. That's when you achieve that. That's the best reward you get. So tell me, how did you go about this?
Well, so let me give you my thinking at the time. It was that, again, I came from healthcare.
Yeah.
And I worked with doctors and surgeons, and that's just all I knew since I graduated. And so everything to me was always built. That's the ideal way is to build it around yourself.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a doctor, you want to build your practice. It's your practice.
That's you see it in the name.
Yeah.
This is doctor, whoever's office.
That's right.
Okay.
And so, that's a great way to become successful when your time and your skills are so valuable that people want to come to you, and that's great. But I also found that in business, and again, it's not that one way is right or wrong, but when I was doing the lashes, I started off building it around myself.
Yeah.
Because as an optician, I knew what I was doing. I took a basic course, and the seminar that I took was so basic that I almost felt sorry for the lady teaching me. She was really nice, but there was just zero depth to the information. Okay. It was literally, I think it was a 2-day course.
Yeah.
And I think we worked on, if I'm not mistaken, 3 people in that 2 days.
Really?
And so there was
pretty extensive.
There was very little theory. There was no diagrams. There's no whiteboard or anything. There was no pamphlet. It was just very simple. I guess my point is that I had to kind of figure things out on my own, because at the time, we're going back 10 years now.
Yeah.
Nobody was doing this in Windsor.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I just tried to draw on my background as much as I could. That's all I knew. That's all I could draw from, is to figure this process out. And I did it at home. I practiced on my mom, my cousin, my neighbor, my wife, and all these people, and thank them for their time. But because it really allowed me, I remember one marathon I was working for like 6 hours with little breaks, on my mom, and you put lashes on her.
You wanted to figure out a way where you just step out of that and have a business that's automated.
That's
that way you can work on your business rather than in your business. And we hear that a lot as entrepreneurs.
Totally.
The best way is to work on your business rather than in your business. So,
totally.
So what did you start doing? How did you educate yourself? How did you, what were your first steps in terms of figuring out, all right, how am I going to automate this business and going from there?
Well, okay, so automating the business. Fast forward a little bit from there. I had built up a great clientele. I was in demand. I was working 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week, sometimes 8 in the morning, sometimes 10 o'clock at night on Sunday. It got to be kind of crazy, and I just honestly I knew it was not sustainable. Like my energy, I couldn't take it.
Because you want your business to keep growing, but you knew you hit your match.
Yeah,
right?
I maxed out, and so I knew I had to figure something out at that point. So, how did I systematize it? Well, I tell you, and I've had this conversation before, because I do feel like this is probably the most important information. Like I wish someone had kind of like told me this in advance, and I really feel like it's great that you're doing this too, because I feel like the number one concern for any entrepreneur is really, how do you grow your business? But if you're like most entrepreneurs, you're going to start off growing it around yourself, and that's the way you should do it. But then eventually you have to try and take yourself out. So
leverage.
Right. So so saying what was the hardest part about business was taking myself out. So what did I do? I didn't have a plan. I kind of have one now, and I've done it since. But here's what I did at the time: was I got to a point where I just had to decide, that's it. I'm taking myself out.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it any longer.
Yeah.
It was just too much, too demanding. My eyes were just popping out of my head. They were so dry, and it was just lashes all day. So what I did was I had some new staff come in, and I spent as much time as I could training them. I trained them long enough until they were getting it right. And then, but again, habits are hard to break. So if a client is used to you, they want you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I see that in my business. Like my business is, we're just touching a year now. February 10th, I'd be a year as a full-time entrepreneur. And I've a lot of people, they know me before I even know them. Yeah. And they're expecting when
they want you to do everything.
They're expecting to see me. And if I send my employees, they may be taken back a little bit, right? But at the end of the day, my employees, they do a good job replicating me. So I figured that out soon in the game. Yep. And
good for you.
A good book that I read, and I was talking about this at a previous interview I had, was the book Built to Sell, where it teaches you. It teaches you all the small little things you can do in your business in terms of automating it. Because at the end of the day, it would be great being able, like right now, this is a perfect example. We went to office number 1, and you said, all right, guys, I'm getting out of here. I got to go shoot a video. Yeah. And your business is running right now. You're sitting with me, and your business is running right now. For me, I'm at the level right now where my shop is closed right now. Right? So I got to get on your level. So I'm loving everything you're telling me right now because, there's a lot of people, like I'm 25 years old, I'm just starting my business. A lot of people need to be having it. I don't need to have my business automated right now, but it needs to be in the back of my mind. Like, how do I, in the front of my mind actually, in terms of long-term to bring value towards my business, if I ever want to sell my business, you know, if you could just sit back and it's running, an investor could come in and say, yep, I'll buy your business, life is good, or hey, we can do this several times and duplicate it more and more and more, and you can expand into other cities. The door opens significantly when it's not just a one-man or one-woman show. Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's not right or wrong. So because you know, some people have a business that revolves completely around their time, and they're very happy with that. So it's not that one way is right or wrong. It's just if you are on the side of the fence where you feel like you're holding your business back, and it could grow with systems. And so, and I do have some advice, actually, something I did, and it kind of, before I say it, I want to set it up a little bit, because people almost kind of like, they're looking for some kind of like magic formula, you know, or this magic wand, or this secret, or this trick you can do. And my experience, there's no trick. There is a formula. But it's pretty simple. And so what I'm getting at is this, and I've had this conversation before with people in business. At some point, you have to decide to take yourself out of your business, and that's what I did. So again, whatever the reasons were, I wanted to take myself out. I knew I had to, just like you said that. So what do? So my advice is this: if you're in that position where you're maxed out and you know you can't do everything, it's kind of getting away from you, it's getting too big for yourself. And this is what I did was, a few years ago, I just set a date. I said, so that after this, what I did was I looked at my schedule, and I was booked up in advance, probably 4 weeks, roughly. And so I said, okay, right now, this is my last booked appointment. I'm going to keep that appointment, but I'm not taking any new clients. Well, but I have an urgent situation. There was always like a reason why they needed me. So I kind of fell into that a little bit. There's a couple more weeks where I kind of said, okay, well, this is a special case. I know how this person likes this. So well, your mindset was already switched. You're like, all right, fine, I'll do this. I'll just weed it out. But my goal is you already had it
take myself out. Right? So I was looking for the way out.
And you put yourself under the gun by saying, boom, by this date, like that's it. I'm not taking any appointments, nothing of that done. So you put yourself like under fire right away, like cold turkey. Let's go.
That's right. But the reason I'm setting this up is because the conversation I usually have with guys and girls that are in business and they can't get out is that, but I can't get out because the sales will go down. What do I do? Like, I want to take myself out of my business. I want to have systems. I want to scale my business, but I can't, because if I do, the sales drops and the quality drops. So in that case, I can't take your advice. So what I'm saying is that my experience, that's actually normal. What I did was I did finally set up, okay, this is it. Like I've had enough. Like I just can't do this. I'm going to have a heart attack or just shut the place down, because money's not everything. Yeah, you're making money at that point, but don't forget you have a wife and kids at home. Don't forget you got the Christmas lights on the roof in July, right? So there's things you have to do in your life. So I finally said, okay, that's enough. Enough is enough. This is my last appointment. I'm done after that. So I did that. I had staff ready, and I stopped taking appointments. Well, I did notice for a little while, like it was chaos. I'll be honest with you. The quality went down. The sales went down.
The eyelashes going this way and that way.
There was a few. There was a few for sure. But I was committed to it because I knew that if I have a choice between all in and just me, or shut it down, I was willing to just shut it down. Maybe that was part of it too. Because I knew I had a fallback. But so here's what I did. I was determined to make this work. So I said, no way. So I decided I'm going to fix the problems as they come. So whenever someone had a bad experience, I said, that's no problem. I'll either redo it or I'll give you a refund. So I was putting the heat under myself. I was putting the fire under myself that, okay, I'm going to give away enough refunds. Like I don't want to upset the customers, but I'm going to fix the problems as opposed to, actually hands-on. I want to step back and fix it. So there was some complaints. The quality went down for a brief period of time. And I gave away a few refunds. But once I got through that period, it might have been a month, something like that. And I would do more training. I would figure out new systems.
Eventually it started working.
It started to work. It started to tweak.
A month isn't bad. I know for me, it took me about 3 months. Still, I had someone that I could say is pretty much just as close as I am in terms of quality.
There you go.
Absolutely.
So it's very doable. Every experience is going to be different. But again, I took myself out. the point was I was willing to let the quality go down. I didn't want it to go down. People take it wrong. They say, oh, well, I insist on quality, so I will never let anyone else do this in my business. But you're not serving anyone but yourself in that way, really.
Yeah. Because like eventually the graph kind of looks like this. It's like you at the beginning, and then you at your max capacity. Then there's like a dip when you have like, you know, your training and you're setting up and you have all this what we just went through. But then from there, the line is endless. Like from there, you just keep going. Once you figure out your own recipe, your own formula for your own business, every business is different.
Yeah.
Once you have that formula figured out, then boom, go ahead. You can do it a million times. And now you have how many stores?
Got 4 right now.
4. That's phenomenal.
Yep.
And how many employees are working in each store roughly?
Generally 5.
5. That's beautiful.
Yep, 5 per store.
That's beautiful.
And, plus we've got Mad Wax, and I'm involved with a couple other things.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
So again, like I say, I mean, it was a case of you have to
be willing to sacrifice to get a big
willing to let things go wrong, so you can see what the problems are and then fix those problems.
Yeah.
So fast forward again,
no one can predict the future. No one can predict the perfect cycle. Even when you want to just start a business or anything, whatever it is, even when it's just you on your own.
Yeah.
You had your first 10 patients where you messed up your very first one. Or maybe you got beginner's luck and you thought you were great. The second one, you blew it out of the ballpark. Yeah. Like even just independently. And then there's just another obstacle. We're solving problems every single day.
That's right.
Every day we're solving problems. So this is just another one. So just solve it.
Absolutely.
Why not solve it? The reward's going to be great.
Entrepreneur, you're a firefighter, really.
Absolutely.
Your job is to put out fires all day long, every day. So
absolutely.
Got to get used to that. You know,
absolutely.
The ones who can't handle or face the problems are maybe not as entrepreneurial as they might think. Maybe you want to create a self-employed situation. Again, that's a great thing.
It's a mindset. It's a mindset. It's where, like, you know, whatever, you could have the worst day, but the next day you wake up like yesterday didn't happen. You just take it on.
Exactly.
You just take it on.
Yep.
If you let it if you carry it on your shoulders, it'll really weigh you down. Right?
That's
you just got to keep fighting it.
You always have to keep pushing because there's always another level.
Absolutely.
To me, I found there was basically three main levels, though, in my experience so far, is that I call it the 3 S's. The 3 S's of business. And at the bottom level, you have self-employment, and that's the easiest. So when people are starting a business, generally they're starting a self-employed situation. They've got their own location, and they are doing all the work. They're answering the phone. They're making their widgets or whatever they're doing, and they're providing all the service. That's self-employment, and that's actually the easiest one. To be successful, self-employed is actually pretty super easy. Yeah. It just takes time, dedication, effort, and and it can be fully busy or sell all your product or whatever it is. So self-employed is pretty easy, and then above that, the next level is systems. Again, which I found was actually much harder. Yeah. Much harder to build systems than it was to get successful. The employees. Yeah. Okay. That's right. So to have systems, and it's more than just finding good staff who work hard. That's not really systems. That's kind of luck of the draw a little bit, and finding good people is hard work too. And I'm very fortunate. I've learned a lot about hiring people. You know, I now know that if you want to run a good business, you have to hire good people. Yeah. They work hard, and you have to treat them well and pay them well. Absolutely. Because otherwise it doesn't work. So
you gotta treat them really good. Absolutely.
Because they're the most important part of the business.
100%. And then make sure they're happy. You gotta make sure that you're working with them, not that they're not working for you. You know what I mean?
That's right. And generally, if you're building something that's self-employed for yourself, you're kind of building it so you can make as much money off of that one business for yourself as you can off your own labor. Yeah. So it's a different situation. Yeah. With systems, the next level is scale. Once you have the right systems, and it's not just the product or service.
That's when you figure it out.
It's everything. It's marketing. Yeah. It's customer acquisition. It's customer retention. It's quality control. Yeah. It's staff systems. It's everything. Yeah. There could be 100 systems in your business. Once you figure that out, then you can scale. And that's what I've been able to do is scale now. Got an investor. I made a deal to expand. Yeah. And so at that point now the sky's the limit. And again, it's not necessarily that one way is right or wrong. It was just my path. And I do find a lot of people want to scale their business. You want to grow your business. Absolutely. You know.
How'd you, in terms of like your documents and your formula essentially, in terms of training, what was your strategy? Are you like a video guy, or you
for training staff?
Away? Like what's your system like? What's your you just now hired me. Walk me through working a day for you in terms of training. Like, how do you prepare me? What's some of your strategies you use?
So for training, I think the first step is the hiring, because if someone wants to learn, it's going to be much easier for you to train them. Yeah. You know, if someone doesn't want to learn, or maybe they say they do and then they think they know it all or what have you, there's some bad attitudes in there. So first of all, it is weeding out the people who are serious. Sometimes what I mean is that, you know, every once in a while I'll get somebody apply to me and it's, why do you want to work? Oh, you know, well, like my mom said I'd have to get a job and otherwise she's going to kick me out of the house, something like that. Hey, that's
people tell you that sometimes.
You'd be surprised.
Really?
You'd be surprised. Okay. And again, I don't want to get down on any one particular group, but I'll tell you, I've seen a pattern here and there. There's some people. I think it's just experience. It's not a particular group. I'm just saying it's if you lack any experience in the workforce, there's a reason why, you know, as entrepreneurs, when things are tight, you don't necessarily want to take a chance on someone who's brand new. You hesitate, I guess, is the point. I will take a chance, but sometimes you hesitate because if that person is being pressured to get a job, or they don't really, they're not into it.
You're on the hunt for someone who's.
So I'm looking for someone who really wants to be there. Is number one. Okay. Number two, then, how do you start the training? To me, there is no substitute for lead by example. There's just no substitute for it. So if I want to train you, Christian, to do what I'm doing or work in my company, one of my businesses, then I'm going to show you, first of all. I'm not going to expect you to do anything I wouldn't do. So, like, I'll change the garbage bag. It's not a big deal. So it really is more of a connection and an understanding first.
Okay.
Then once you get beyond that, you've hired the right person. They've got the right attitude and they want to work and they have the ability to do the job and you're ready to train them. So demonstrating. So that's where the teacher in me comes out. My granddad was a teacher. My dad was a retired teacher. So it's a little bit in me. But I think as entrepreneurs, we have to naturally be teachers. You know, to our staff. And you have to be able to communicate things, not just in basic ways, but you have to go deep. You have to teach them how to do it right, what to do when something goes wrong, why you have to do it this way. You have to have everything there, the understanding, and what are the results if you do it this way.
You know, one thing I was struggling with when I had my first employee is sometimes, like, we forget that the things that we do every day isn't like common sense. It isn't like, you know, like a lot of it I was like, I don't understand, why can't he figure out how to clean this car? Like, but it's like, I gotta remind myself, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on a second. Like, it took me like a year to get to the level that I'm at. And this guy's like on his first day on his first car. And I'm like, I don't get it. Why can't you figure it out? So you gotta remind yourself, you gotta step back and be like, all right, these guys are just getting it right. They know nothing. I gotta pretend like, you know, you got to remind yourself, like, it's not expert mode right away. You got to take it down because you get frustrated if you don't take that in consideration. You're like, I don't understand how you're not getting it. So you got to take that out. You just got to start from the beginning and have that patience.
It's so true. You have to have patience. No one's going to be at your level, and especially as an entrepreneur, you're usually an expert in your field.
Absolutely.
And one of the biggest complaints that I hear is sometimes from business owners is that it's hard to find good people, and I would agree. So, to a point, it's hard to find good people, but you know, it's also a case of what environment are you providing for them. You know, so if it's a case of your employee makes a mistake and you give them shit and you're all you know on their back making them feel stupid, then they're probably gonna hide the mistake next time. You know. So I find it's a little more psychological than anything else. And the other side of it is you've got your butt on the line. You've got money invested. If this thing goes wrong, you've got a lot to lose. The employee doesn't necessarily have that, so they won't necessarily understand things through the same lenses that you will. You know, but I find communication is just key. It's just more talking. We have regular meetings by Zoom. We have regular in-person meetings, and it's just more. I find repetition because you can tell. So I use this funny example, that, you know, with my wife, I love her dearly. I've been married for a long time. Like, she's the best thing that ever happened to me. You know, I wouldn't know what I would do without her. But imagine if I just married her and told her on our wedding day, honey, I love you, and then that's it. I never said it again. Well, you got to remind people. You know what I mean? It's just like the relationship things. You got to remind people that first of all, this is what you expect. If it's an employee, you got to tell people that you value them. You know, you can't just be always with the whip and everything, and you're fired and all that. You have to really like appreciate it. It can't be a trick, and it's got to be sincere. You know, if you appreciate your employees, then you have to tell them.
Okay.
You know, if you don't, then you got to look at yourself. You know, that's the way I feel about it.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. I'm the same way in terms of like everything there's like a process and you got to repeat it over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eventually it becomes like second nature, right? So
for sure.
You took it to the next level in terms of not just your process and your work, but it's also your environment that you have, right? Yeah. You have a repetition of, you know, with the things you say to your employees or giving them the recognition they need to give.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you could be the one that decides, all right, finally I'm stepping back. You just come in, go in your office and leave. Yeah. But you've incorporated an environment as well to keep morale.
You have to say positive. I mean, you met some of the staff here.
Yeah, they were great.
They're long-term staff. You know, they're happy and they've been with me for years.
Yeah, it was nothing but smiles when I came in here. Absolutely.
So you have to create that. You have to bring that energy and bring that respect and truly value your employees. Otherwise, they won't keep them. You know.
And that's it. That's the recipe to scaling, eh?
Yeah. Well, that's definitely part of it. You know, I mean, as for scaling. That's a whole other topic.
Or just stepping back, I should say.
Well, yeah, like I say, to me, the biggest thing, the biggest eye-opener and lesson that I learned, and I hope if there's any entrepreneurs wanting to scale their business, to me, it's those three things that you have to identify, which is self-employed, systems, and then scale. It has
and you know what? I'll tell you something. I've met, and you could pick the level that you want to be at. Yeah. It's just different. You pick the category. Like my dad, he's had his own business for almost 15 years now. Yeah. And he's a one-man show. He doesn't plan on being a multiple. That's great. It. He's happy. That's great. He's taking care of me. He's taking care of my mom. Everything's good. I've met also other people in the city where they're the same way. They're like, you know, I've had the business. I've had it running 12, 13 employees. I just got rid of it. Yeah. And it's just me, one-man show. I get to relax. It's definitely a nice, easy level, nice, comfortable level to sit at. You know the quality you're giving, and that's it. It's all you're after, right?
Exactly. It's personal choice.
And then if you want the choice of, you know, being able to step back, you're the CEO, whatever. If you want that style, there's that road as well. But then it comes with its own package, and then the scaling. That's the hardest of all. That's the hardest of all. But if you want that, then it's yours.
I might challenge. I might push back on that just a little bit and say actually level 2 is the hardest.
You think so? Yeah. You know what? I'm at that level right now. I haven't gotten to the scaling yet. So absolutely.
Once you got system, scaling is actually pretty easy.
Yeah. You just repeat.
Yeah. Just repeat.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
So
yeah, I hear you. Listen, it was a pleasure talking. I learned so much from you.
Oh, me too, Christian.
Anything else on your mind you'd like to share? You want to close us off?
No, just like I say, thanks for your time. Thanks for inviting me onto this. It's been an honor, and I see what you're doing out there, and I see you're hustling and working really hard, and all respect to you because you know what, like. People sometimes look at what you're doing and it looks easy, but it's not. You have to work hard. Nothing comes easy.
Absolutely. Let me ask you something. How old were you when you first became a full-time entrepreneur? When was that?
That'd be 2001. So it's going back a few years.
Going back a few years. So you're in your 20s, right?
Yeah, late 20s.
Late 20s.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was 9 years old.
Wow. Good for you.
I'm 25 now, so. Wow. It's like, you know what, you started in my
30s.
You played your game, you started young and you were patient, and then that was it from there.
I mean, it's a journey, eh?
Beautiful,
you know, it's a big journey. You never stop learning. There's always another level, you know?
That's the beauty of entrepreneurship, and then we'll close up on that, is that it's an open door. It's not like a job with one job description and that's it. So you're signing up, and you just got constant. Every day you're opening new doors. Every day. That's it. You never know where you're gonna end up. So
I love to learn.
Thank you for being here, buddy.
Christian, thank you.
Okay, all the guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Christian Saab. This is Jason.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We Rise one-on-one interviews every Wednesday and Friday. Tune in. We're gonna have entrepreneurs throughout the whole city of Windsor. We're gonna be meeting a lot of good people. Can't wait to give you guys the value that we've learned. Thank you very much, Jason.
Thanks a lot.
Take care.